Welcome, reading one. Oh, the I'm so excited. Getting your reading together was really awesome. Your energy is really awesome. I love when I do not know what your card is either. It's my favorite part. I mean, sometimes it's cool to have it first because it starts the story, whatever. It's a visual, it's always for you. But I get excited too, especially on readings like this that feel very sacred. They feel very holy, and I feel like they had me kind of start this with a giggle because we are going to get pretty serious in this reading, and that's because we've all been spending so much time and energy trying to deflect the shadow. Those who are awake and understand what's truly happening are absolutely positively aware that they need to change things. I mean, you wouldn't be here watching this reading if you didn't feel like you knew something needed to change, something. So with that being said, the theme of our reading today is, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? I thought it was so interesting that Spirit had us do this today, because obviously whenever you watch this, you're watching it in the perfect time that you're meant to see it. They're timeless. But in real time, today is September 29th, 2025, which 29 is an 11 day. It's the number of the angels, but also it's the first quarter moon on a moon day. It's Monday. Very powerful. And excuse me, did I say third quarter? Ooh, was that a Freudian slip? It's first quarter moon. Oh my goodness, did I say third? I don't know. I don't have fancy stuff, so I can't go back. So if I did, I feel like that may be a timeline for somebody. Interesting. Okay, very cool. And also, I kind of feel like that's a wink wink from Spirit, because by the third quarter moon of this moon cycle, we will be pulling more and more out of the shadow. Once we go to the new moon in Libra, everything's going to change. October is going to be one of the most transformative months we've ever had on planet Earth. I've been feeling this coming for a long, long, long time. And I think there's a lot of us that are sensitives, that we've been feeling that something very magical and mystical was happening, understanding that we are part of the change. I'm like, part? Listen to me, like my old stuff's coming out. We are parts of the change, right? Like we're part of the change. What's that saying? Be the change you want to see in the world. We are the change. It's like that scene from have you guys ever seen The Craft, the original one, where the bus pulls up and he's like, hey girls, you need a ride or something like that? He's like, you better get out of here before the weirdos show up or whatever. And she goes, mister, we are the weirdos. It's one of my favorite scenes. Sorry, I'm on my bed, so it's a little crackly. It's wood. But that's what I'm getting from Spirit, is like, it's time for you to own who you are and release that which no longer serves your path and purpose. Your soul brought you here. Your soul was crying out. Your soul was saying, no more. I know I need to let go of something. What is holding me back? What is my roadblock? What's the obstacle? What am I not changing? What am I not seeing? And without further ado, let's get your card. I don't know what it is either. Oh, experiencing. Now, you know what? I'm getting the vibe to zoom in. Hold on. There we go. That's better. But still, I feel like you need to see it. There we go. Oh, that's perfect, Spirit. That's beautiful. It looks like the tree's on fire. Okay, so they had me turn off all my lights in here, and it's like a really rainy, gloomy, it's like a perfect fall day. So, that could be fall. That could be, I mean, this, and also the energy feels very androgynous to me. But look at that color that's coming out from underneath their coat. Number 3, experiencing. I don't know if they want this back here. So we just know that it's 3, experiencing, and they are definitely having me call into the book. Let me see if they want me to go forward even more. Okay. Okay. I want you to be able to see the whole card. I feel like it's important. But they did last minute have me put this here, so I'm trying to figure out where it fits in. I mean, obviously pyrite, you know, is about money and stuff like that, but okay. Even like the crystals and like everything just feels, yeah, even my rings today, I felt like with you at least, like they had certain ones they wanted me to bring in and show you. Maybe you're meant to work with it. That could have been really painful, but it wasn't too bad. I was like, owie. Okay. So, oh, and also when I happened to look up, it was 617. 17 is a big number for our tribe. It's also the number 8, but it could be a birthday, June 17th for somebody. Which is really interesting with the 17 because we got this deck was donated from one of our tribe members, Zoe, and it's just really powerful. So I'm not super familiar with this deck. Certain decks I use a lot, or I was just really called to research it more, so I know more. But this is one of those, from the moment I got it, I just got the vibe to like leave it be. Like, you know, I haven't even like read every single card or looked at every single card, which is always kind of fun for me as well. So number 3. Now in this deck, it's really interesting. Ooh, it's really interesting because something just fell out of me when I opened the book. Because they have different sections. So they have the major arcana, the minor arcana, but they also like have different suits and they have different meanings. It's a very, very in-depth tarot deck. And maybe for some of you, you're meant to get it. It's called the Osho Zen Tarot. Maybe you're drawn to it. I know it's like in your face, but it's really beautiful. I might take a screenshot of that. That's cool. But it's so good and very decisive, Spirit said, and divisive. Also, I heard drink water because I felt very like, I've been drinking a shitload of water since I woke up this morning, and then out of nowhere, I just like felt like I was in the desert. So drink some water. That's for everybody. Pause it. I don't care. Go get water. If you're like, I can't, okay, then you can't, right? Like, I'm not going to be crazy about it, but I'm definitely hearing, please drink some water. And, you know, I know some people are like, oh, there's water in my tea, or oh, there's water in my soda pop or my juice or whatever, but not the same. You need real water. Our bodies are made up of so much water, 70%, and they need it. Like, they absolutely, positively need water to keep functioning. It's interesting, when I was looking for this in the book, I saw suit of water. But this is really interesting. So this is from the minor arcana and the suit of fire. So I was right. I was like, I saw fire and then I also saw fall. But fall is like a representation of fire. So let's see what this has to say. Number 82, which is also the number 10. Another 1. What did I say? Today was an 11. This deck is really, this deck is like going down a rabbit hole. It really is. And it's one of those things that I really love it and I appreciate it, but I understand now why Spirit hasn't had me like go into it so hard, because I feel like it's something that needs to be experienced, right? Speaking of experiencing, sorry, by the way, I'm having a really tough time, and this may be a message for you too. my body has been changing so much. It's like, it's almost freakish how much my body has been changing. And a lot of us, you know, I get that from spirit. We're in the ascension phase. So take really good care of your bodies. That's why I push so hard to have self-care September. And even going towards the end of the year, they want us to just really like be present. Also, I just saw 10/12. So I feel like that's a message for somebody, which is also October 12th. So that might be a big day for you. I believe that's on a Sunday. It might be a birthday again. Um, and if you add it together, it's the number 4. And that's a solid foundation. I mean, this reading, the way this reading came about was, it was from, I'll put a link in the description box. If you do not know the Psychic Soul, you need to go there. She has some of the best meditations I've ever experienced in my life. I absolutely love her. We were supporting each other when we were both really small channels, and she like blew up, but she's so gracious. Crystal is her name. She's so gracious that she still like goes out of her way, you know, to recognize me, or like, you know, talk to me, or if I put a comment on her. And she's got, I don't know how many followers now. She and her sister's involved as well. Anyway, long story short, in like, you know, when in like posts or whatever, she had put this reading that I'm doing right now, and I was so drawn to it. I haven't been drawn to another person's reading like that in a really long time. That's why I tagged her, because I was just like, oh, you know, she's also somebody who's like, dude, don't take my reading. You know what I mean? Like, she's angelic like I am, where she's like, no, please, like, cool. If you're drawn to, like, take it, you know? She loves that she inspired it. You know what I mean? That's where the true angelic energy lies, when we don't have any mine, or, you know, it's about letting go. It's about detachment. And I feel like right now, Spirit is showing us on so many levels that we need to let go. And this fall, especially for the Northern Hemisphere, of course, we have, you know, our witches and healers and deep down believers all over the planet. And we have Southern Hemisphere in this tribe. We love you. Thank you so much. Right. But like, now they've been doing their thing in the winter, and now they're ready for spring. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why we have, you know, we were meant to migrate, even though people say, you know, it's so gross, you know, the white man took over New Zealand and Australia. And it's like, yeah, but did you ever think that it's also because it's land that was untouched, that hadn't really been fucked with yet? Right? Because the Northern Hemisphere was so heavily saturated. We needed to have, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we have even more people who start moving down under. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big cleansing in the Northern Hemisphere in terms of, you know, deaths and big events and, you know, things, because it's a part of a cleansing. So I have no idea. I've never even, like, that just literally came straight through. So even myself, sometimes when I'm channeling, I'm like, you know, there's still I'm still human here, right? So like my human side will be like, what? Like, what was that? You know? But I know we're okay, you know, and I know we're safe. And even right now, like if things happen and I, you know, sadly, this was my time, then that would be my time. I started having these horrible things. I sprained my ankle. And then my knee started acting up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I couldn't almost walk yesterday. So like I've been hobbled for, it's like my ankle started to feel better. I'm like, cool. But I was still favoring my right leg, right? Instead of just getting better and healing. No. I just kept going. And to the point where now that's why I'm so fidgety, because I'm super bendy. Super bendy. I literally grew up in gymnastics and cheerleading, and I was doing yoga before I understood that it was yoga, in terms of like stretches and certain poses and things like that. And I stayed with that my whole life. I've always loved that, you know, and stretched and took good care of my body. And I'm just super bendy. So for me not to be able to bend, for me not to be able to like cross my legs and sit, like that is, I just like, I literally, when I started stretching earlier, I started crying, you know, and I realized I have a release coming too, right? Like I'm so excited for this, because even though today's the first quarter moon reading and it's about taking action, I feel like this is perfect, because a week from today is the full moon. And it's like, what do we need to release and let go of? And instead of it being like, oh, I don't know, it's like, I feel like this reading, at least, whoever finds this and part of our tribe, like as light workers and healers and deep down believers in magic, like we need this message now, like today, because we need to let go of these things and leave them in this shadow eclipse energy when the new moon starts, because we're in a double moon. When we're in the dark side, we're in the dark side of the moon. So we're going to see a lot of things. We're going to experience a lot of things. We're going to feel a lot of things. A lot of things are going to change. It's going to feel like suffering. It's going to feel like pain. Like right now, my lower back is killing me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on with my lower back? And I know it's because my body's sitting differently, because I can't, now I'm like, what should I do? I'm like trying to stretch it out, right? But if you're anything like me, it's a sign from spirit for us to get connected, to get outside, to walk, to experience life. It's also a big heads up that like there might be something in your diet, in your energy field. It could be the people around you. We're just like super sensitive Sallys right now, like all of us, like every empath and sensitive and light worker on the planet. There is no more, like, this is it, like, this is it. But they knew that we'd be here too, right? So it's like, it's not a tisk tisk, shame shame. They're just like, this is it. Like, this is the crescendo of the biggest fucking opera you've ever written. This is the aria. This is the moment. This is the hero moment for all of us. Everyone who's going to watch all 5 of these readings, this is our hero moment. However, in order to be what we came here to be, we must release and let go of this and be free. And seriously, they're like, look at the inside of their coat. You're about to, you're going from Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch The Lord of the Rings. From the time you watch this, I heard, well, in real time, I'm hearing to watch it before the new moon in Libra, if you can. And if you've seen it, maybe you're meant to watch it again, to feel that power, to feel that magic, to understand that it's real. Like, to picture, picture Liv Tyler right now. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give away too much, but picture Liv Tyler right now when she's standing at that river, and she's running, and she's doing everything in her power to save Frodo. She like, her and her horse, like, she says to her horse, like, if there's any time on any plane, this is it, ride. She's like, get us there, get us there. And when the wraiths come for her, when that shadow and that darkness comes for her, it's like her power really comes to life. And it's because of that, because she believes in herself, and she believes in the power of her connection to earth. She believes in her power and connection to water. Lately, I've been doing meditations outside barefoot with the energy, and I've had days where it's been really still, and I will say to spirit, I really need some wind right now. Like, I'm feeling some heavy, dark energy. Can you come in and swoop it away? And, I put my arms up. I'm like connecting my feet, barefoot on the earth. And I believe it. And I'm not kidding you. Within seconds, like, fucking this gust of wind came out of nowhere. We are connected. If you found yourself here, you have a mission. You are on a mission. We are all on a mission. Every single one of us. It's time to believe in your power. It's time to believe who you are. And watching that series is really powerful, because you get to, it's awesome. I remember watching them when they first came out. Obviously, I read the books when I was a child, but not obviously, but I'm 53. It was kind of like a thing. In a lot of schools, it was required reading, which, thank goddess. I mean, I think about that, like, and when I think about that, back in that time period, that was really ballsy for our teachers to do. But I mean, talk about sharing art and showing children that, fantasies are real, and that, like, magic is real, and whatever you believe you can create. It's really powerful. I saw this amazing clip from, I can picture in my mind right now. It'll come to me. But it was this British actress, and she was just talking about like not losing hope, and like, you know, for some people, like they were alive or they were at the end of World War II. Like they understand that, like they know, I mean, oh, when I looked down, it was 2002, which is also number 4. So, and 4 is about getting balance. That's what I'm getting from Spirit. That's what this whole reading is about, is the balance. And this amazing actress, she's super powerful, and she said, she's also an activist, and they said she's like, it's not just America's problem. She said it's the world's problem. This is a really big deal. This is a tremendously huge deal, and we have to come together as one. So I feel like this reading came into play because when Crystal put it out, when her and her team put it out, it was on the equinox, and they were like, this is a time to, you know, where everything's balanced, right? That's what the equinox is. It's when the light is equal. It's equal light and equal day. That's what the equinox is. And I got from Spirit that your equilibrium is off. Like you're not feeling, you know, and maybe that's why the character in the card is showing me like, you know, you're hunched over, you're not feeling like you, and you're like, what is it that I can do to bring, you know, the world back into alignment? And Spirit says, an experience is something that can be filed away in a notebook or captured on film and pasted into an album. Experiencing is the feeling of wonder itself, the thrill of communion, the gentle touch of our connectedness with all that surrounds us. Ooh, see, now listen, this says, the woman in this card, which let's reference that as the Divine Feminine. The Divine Feminine in this card is not just touching this tree. She is in communion with it. She has almost become one with it. It is an old tree and has seen many hard times. Her touch is gentle, reverent, and the white on the inside of her cape reflects the purity of her heart. Exactly, Gandalf. Right? A wizard always arrives exactly when they're meant to. She is humble and simple, and that is the right way to approach nature. Listen to that. Let that take that shadow away. Goodbye, negative energy. See you later. Nature doesn't hang. What does it say? Oh, nature doesn't bang any drums when it bursts forth into flower, nor play any dirges when the trees let go of their leaves in the fall. But when we approach her, the Divine Feminine, in the right spirit, she has many secrets to share. If you haven't heard nature whispering to you lately, now is a good time to give her the opportunity. I need more water. You guys, I'm not kidding. I feel like you guys are in a desert. Like your energy feels so dry. Like I just feel like it almost feels like I don't even feel like a confused energy. I feel like a stuck energy. Drink some water, please. And if you're driving and you don't have water, then go and pull over and get some. Try and find the healthiest water you can find. Listen, this is it. What am I holding that my soul is ready to release? Right? What am I holding? So it's going to be different for all of you. But I'm going to tell you what, I feel like you know, like whatever came up for each individual as you are listening to this, you know exactly what's holding you back. However, definitely getting connected with nature. What did I say? Going outside, getting barefoot, putting your feet to the earth, putting your hands to the sky, closing your eyes. You know, preferably somewhere that you can be alone. Go deep into the woods somewhere. Go into your backyard. Who cares who looks at you though? You know, I mean, have the bravery to be somewhere and not care what anybody thinks or says. That's part of it too. That's a very human ego thing. Who gives a shit? Also, the number 3 is obviously significant for you. I almost feel like for some of you, I saw like, do you ever see those, I forget what they're called, they're very famous Russian dolls where there's like one inside of another, inside of another, inside of another. Feel free to comment below. I can't think of it right now. It's like one of those things that later I'll go, oh yeah. Anyway, I feel like there's 3 of you right now. I feel like you're kind of like, and maybe you have one personality at work, one personality with your significant other, one personality with your family, or it could just be one personality with yourself, like your true self, and then like you have 2 masks that you wear when you go out because it makes you feel safer, more comfortable, whatever. But what I'm hearing from Spirit, that's what's holding you back, is not speaking your truth. That's what's holding you back, is being in groups and places where you have to be a different person to just be who you are. When I started to be who I was around my friends and my family, I mean, I even had some of my people who were like, do you have to dress like that? Like you can't go see the relatives in a different outfit. I'm like, these are my fucking clothes. No, this is what I want to wear today. I remember, I don't know if it was my mom or somebody was like, you could tone it down a bit or something like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, I just was like, I can keep fighting and whatever, assert myself, or I can just stop and just stop. And, you know, it got to the point where I just pulled back altogether because I was like getting lost in their matrix and getting lost in my own, where I was like, that's a part of lying. It's a form of lying because you're like stepping into these roles or like stepping into these, you know, masks so that you can be with these people and keep the peace. But it's like, why would you want to be with anyone that you have to be somebody else to keep the peace? That steals your peace. That steals your happiness and your joy. And this is it. Spirit is telling you right now, you must release it now, this fall. And when you come out of the shadow, like maybe you're meant to work through a lot of things, you know. Oh, man. And obviously, whenever you watch this, it could be like the changing of the seasons, or maybe it's the following fall. Only you will know. This just feels really heavy, you guys. And I'm so sorry. And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. But you know how I do. I speak the truth and I walk the walk. I wouldn't say anything to you. Spirit wouldn't ask me to ask you to do anything that I haven't experienced. I know what it's like to feel like I have no one. I know what it's like to feel like, yeah, I mean, people love me and care about me, but like, do they really know me? And I know what it's like to walk away from that. And it took years, and I still have days where I cry or I get sad. I mean, it's ironic they're having me do this today, but not ironic, right? Because one of the people that I miss the most is my sister, and it's her birthday today. But we just grew so far apart and became such different people that I just never knew how to talk to her. And even when I tried to come to her in a very honest, loving way, it was just, I mean, she just retracted. Like, I mean, it was like a cat like hissing at me, and I was like, I just knew that was, I was like, there's that, I don't know any other way. When I looked up, it was 28. So they didn't even have me see the other numbers. So this could be something for you guys. Yesterday was the 28th. Maybe it's something that happened on that day. Maybe it's a number that's significant for you. But also, this was on page 82, which is 28 backwards. And what did I really do? I'm just a mirror. I put a mirror up to her to show her how loving and beautiful she is and I am, but she still wants to see a version of me that once disrupted, you know, whatever energy was going on in her life or her flow or her world. And we were both very oblivious. I did the best I could. I really was fumbling through life, and I never meant any malice, you know. And even if I did at the time, I mean, I know that that's not me. It was just a person that was created. And maybe that's the message that you need to hear. You know, I didn't think I'd cry, and if I cry, I cry, and if I don't, I don't. But of course I miss my family, you know? Of course I miss my friends. I'll probably miss them until the day I die. Because my heart wants everyone to feel the freedom that I feel of being love and loving unconditionally and forgiveness. And forgiveness is hard. It's a tough one. And maybe it's time you need to forgive yourself and forgive others. And you can say goodbye in any way you want. You know, I tried for a very long time until it got to the point where I was like, yeah, I can write letters, I can whatever, or I can just disappear. And I just disappeared, and that doesn't make me a coward. I feel like if they really looked back on the last few years before, they would know. They're very intelligent people. You know, you just get to a point where it's like you can only fight so long, you can only go so far, and then you need to let it go and you need to release it. So I send you with love, and I pray that you release whatever it is that you need to release. And I also pray that you get into nature as much as possible. It's not an accident they had me record this on the first quarter moon, which is all about taking action. Work through what you need to work through, but I'm hearing, you know, by the time the last leaves fall, and maybe it's for our spring family, when the last leaves, you know, finally grow on the trees, you know what I mean, for springtime, you'll know it's time. But until next time, all of my information is in the description box. You can also click on my channel at the top where it says about me if you'd like to work with me one-on-one or contribute anything to this tribe. We love you so much, Spirit and I, and your higher self. We believe in you. You can do this. And I can't wait to see you on the other side of this very dark moon. Take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, reading 2. I'm just getting you a little adjusted here. So many beings want to speak with you. I keep hearing that song, ooh, dream weaver. I believe we can get there through the night, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's so great. So I'm really excited to do your reading. 1 was super intense. If you were drawn to reading 1, please go check it out. It was so intense and very informative. However, it's like what a flip. And I'm glad it was very intense, but feeling such good energy. So you were drawn here because you want to know, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? And when it says, what am I holding? The energy I get from that is, what is my old life holding onto that is stopping me from moving to my highest timeline at the consciousness level that I feel I am at? And I worded it that way because that's the way it came out. So take what it means for you. I'm hearing there's a lot of diversity in this reading. So I haven't had one of these in a really long time, but I am getting a channeling from the universe that is saying, please, please, please don't make this your reading if it's not your reading. And they're saying that, I'm hearing don't read into too much either. So if you're starting to watch this and you're feeling a little wired emotionally and whatever level that might be, I just kind of got that from Spirit, like hot or hot-headed. Like I'm just getting this like, please stop, go take a walk, take in some deep breaths, and then watch this reading. Or go back and look at the beginning, because sometimes you could be led to more than one reading. There are 5 things here. So there could be, you know, I mean, this is one of those that it could be all 5 things, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who this is. You know what I mean? This isn't a private reading. Which if you would like one, you can contact me, magickalmedium@gmail.com. There's information to do so in the description box, but also on my main YouTube channel. If you click on the About Me part, it'll take you to all the things for connecting with me one-on-one, or if you would like a group reading, a group channeling, if you had a family that lost somebody and everybody would like to speak with a family member, that is a service that I offer. Also, if you would like to contribute to the channel in any way, and always remember that prayers are free. It's about the exchange of energy. All of that information is in there as well. Okay, so they just, for some reason, this particular reading, there was at least one person that needed that information before we started. So with that being said, Spirit's saying, let's dig in. And I'm hearing dig in because I'm feeling it's going to be some intense energy. And that's why they're saying, like, if you are not ready for this, you know, especially when we're feeling like that hot-blooded, hot-headed. I know for myself, over the last like several weeks, I have been on like 70 roller coasters, and every one of them has taken me on a different ride. You know what I mean? So this is not the time to like make big decisions or, you know, end relationships or whatever, unless you are 100% certain. And even with that, in real time, today is the first quarter moon, which is about taking action. And there are no accidents that they had me recorded at this time. So, you know, a week from today is the moon and the full moon, and that is all about releasing energy. So this whole reading is about releasing energy, but it was designed by these angels who put it together around the equinox. Though there's a link to the psychic soul. I don't remember Crystal's sister's name, and I need to find out so that I can always say her name as well. But I only knew it as Crystal's channel at the beginning when I first knew her or first met her. Or reconnected with her, right? She's just she's one of our soul family. But anyway, her channel, The Psychic Soul, is just so amazing, and the meditations are unbelievable. So I highly recommend that you follow her, subscribe to her, connect with her, sign up for her channel. She's just a real magical creature. That'll be in the description box as well, a link to that. And they had put this out on their channel, and I rarely take another reader's, you know, the only time I usually ever use readings that are not just designed by me in spirit is from a book that was gifted by one of our tribe members. Hi, Allie. And it's the Book of Tarot, but it was like a book that was purchased, you know what I mean? So this was put together for a reason. So like I'll use those, but it's very rarely that I will take someone else's reading off the internet. And, you know, but that's why I tagged her. And anyway, so are you ready? Oh, I heard dun, dun, dun. Are you ready for it? Taylor Swift. Okay, are you ready? They're bouncing around. Okay. Wow. New vision. New vision. It's a rainy, gloomy day here. And they had me turn all my lights off because they want you to see things from the way they want you to see them. So what number is that? Oh, it's the number 12. And I love that it's Roman numeral because that's what I feel like. I feel like you guys are old souls. I felt a very fairy-like energy, but also it was more than just a fairy energy. I felt this like earth, like just how this is. Like, I feel like this is you. And for some of you, you may be Sagittarians. I see that that's like a shape or whatever that is. Let me see if I can go a little closer. But I don't know if you see it, but it's like out of nowhere. I was like, well, not out of nowhere, but I saw this look like a bow and arrow. So it could be a sign for a Sagittarius that you are a Sag, or maybe you're dealing with a Sag. The number 12 is very significant. Interesting. Again, reading 1, October 12th came up. So I feel like if you were drawn to reading 1, you may want to go check that out. Oh, I apologize for that. I'm like, did I close all my windows? I'm like looking around. Yeah, sorry. It's just, I live on a freeway. But I'm not going to live here forever. And maybe that's a message for you too. Like, maybe some of you are feeling a little lost, and the reason why you can't release what you need to release is that you're struggling with a new vision. Maybe you're holding on to something that no longer serves you and your greatest and highest good. Let's get to the bottom of it. This book is, so this is the Osho Zen Tarot. If you're interested. It was donated by one of our tribe members, Zoe. But what's cool about this is it has these different forms of the major and minor arcana. And this one comes from the Roman numerals, and that would be, ooh, number 20. It's not number 26, but it's on page 26, but I feel like that means something to somebody, which is also number 8. So let's go to 26. I kind of feel like your message is going to be short and sweet. I feel like some of you, you're so connected that even though I haven't even like read the book, I feel like some of you already even know. So this is kind of a long one. So the commentary is, the figure on this card is being born anew, emerging from his, and so Spirit is having me, instead of saying his, or, well, I can say his, but like when I'm saying his, it's representing the divine masculine, okay? Same thing reading 1, it was representing the divine feminine. So another thing, if you were drawn to that. So, so keep that in mind. This could be about a person, right? Like this is your individual story. But it's interesting because if you are thinking about a person, remember that it says, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? Now, it could be a person, place, or thing. It may not be an emotion or a limitation, or you know what I mean? So keep that in mind, because I feel like somebody needed to hear that. Okay, so the figure on this card is being born anew, emerging from divine masculine earthbound roots. And well, it says his, so let's just say his, but you get the picture. Okay. Emerging from his earthbound roots and growing wings to fly into the unbounded. The geometric shapes around the body of the figure show the many of dimensions of life simultaneously available to him. And again, remember, available to your divine masculine. The square represents the physical, the manifest, the known. The circle represents the unmanifest, the spirit, and pure space. And the triangle symbolizes the threefold nature of the universe: manifest, unmanifest, and the human being who contains both. Now you are presented with an opportunity to see life in all its dimensions, from the depths to the heights. They exist together. And when we come to know from experience that the dark and the difficulty are needed as much as the light and easy, then we begin to have a very different perspective on the world. By allowing all of life's colors to penetrate us, we become more integrated. Wow. That's intense. I have the chills all over my body. I feel like we need to sit with this for a second. Also, what is underneath their legs? What is that? Is that a person? Like, is that like somebody holding them up? Because see, like, this looks like wings, and this looks like a person crawling on the ground. Okay, there's another part. Let's see what it says. Oh, I'm going to drink some more water. Drink some more water. Also, whenever I got this thirsty in reading 1, and I forgot to mention that whenever I get this thirsty, it's usually because there's some really big energies here. And they're so powerful, and they've taught me so well, and it's so early in the day that I don't feel drained, but I definitely feel their presence, and I feel like that's what you needed to hear as well. Maybe you feel it too. Maybe some of you are running away from it. I almost feel like they're leaning back, like they're like, no, I don't want to go into the light, but he's like about to ricochet forward, right? Like, you got to go forward. You can't just stay in that position, right? That would hurt your back for a really long time. But I think it's interesting, like that energy that's like crawling underneath them. Okay, what does this say? When you open up to the ultimate, immediately it pours into you. You are no longer an ordinary human being. You have transcended. Your insight has become the insight of the whole existence. Now you are no longer separate. You have found your roots. Otherwise, Ordinarily, everybody is moving without roots, not knowing from where their heart goes on receiving energy, not knowing who goes on breathing in them, not knowing the life juice that is running inside of them. It is not the body, it is not the mind, it is something transcendental to all duality that is called, oh, I forgot how to pronounce this, Bhagavat. Here. Work with this phrase. Hold on, I'm going to pull this back. It's in a long book like this, so I have to, do you see it? At the top there. In the 10 directions. Wow, that's powerful. Interesting, they had me pull back, right? Because they wanted you to see the big picture. You know, this altar shifted and changed since the first reading. And interesting too that the card even, I could have said it straight, but like it wanted to be put on that angle. It's like trying to like show you. That's powerful. What did you say? I feel like they want me to go. Ooh, interesting. Okay, cool. Because we're still in the shadow right now. So they're saying, don't be hard on yourself. That's why I said when I started this, I felt like this, like cool, like hippie, like let's hang out, man. Like you're the type of person that's just like, you had such good, yummy energy, you know? I really was feeling it. And I still feel that, but I feel like the Dreamweaver, that's why like that song needs to be your anthem right now, to just chill and know that you're going to get out of this shadow. You're going to get out of this space. And even though it's timeless, you know, in the real time, we are still in the shadow of the shadow. And until the new moon in Libra in October, today in real time, it's September 29th, 2025, which is also an 11 number. And I feel like all beings who will watch these readings are connected. Either they are earth angels themselves or they are connected divinely to the angels. They are a light worker for the angels, for the angelic system. So you are one and or both. And, you know, maybe you just needed this boost of wisdom and knowledge today to understand how special and powerful you are, to know that, you know, you're going to get through this. You're meant to work in the shadow right now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Also, when I was building this, I have to tell you, when I was building, like, oops, sorry if that hurt your ears. Sorry, right here, it felt like I was building like a little teepee. Like a little teepee of safety. And I heard, I don't care. So I heard Spirit say, or Spirit said, I don't care if you're an adult. Like, I don't care if you're grown. Do something super fun for yourself. Surpliferous, whatever that word, right? Like, build a fort. And if you have kids, all the better. You know, build a safety fort where you can go right now. Have a place where you can just lay there and maybe listen to Dreamweaver on your headphones and laugh and giggle and go, you know, go in there, close your eyes and, you know, maybe make a mix of like your favorite songs or songs that make you happy, or even just music without words. You know, maybe there's certain classical music that inspires you to paint, or, you know, and I'm hearing like, make your meditation space fun, make it joyful. You know, for some of you, you're spontaneous. They're like, cool, then like stop off somewhere, go into the woods and go meditate. But I'm hearing it's about getting connected, as above, so below. That's why they're so rooted. And I feel like I still can't get my eyes off of that figure crawling underneath them on the ground. It just feels, if it's not there, then I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know if you guys see it too. But it feels so intense. Do you see it? Am I the only one? It's just really cool. But I also like what's going on here. There's just so many things. Like, that's not necessarily a moon, but now I just saw it as like the full moon. So it could even be for some of you that by this full moon, you're going to be releasing some major shit. And that's why you were meant to see this now. And if you don't see it in real time before the full moon it's October 6th or 7th, depending on where you live, but it's on a moon day. Today is the first quarter moon, and first quarter moons are about taking action. So this is a moon day, And next Monday will be a moon day. So full moons on moon days, any type of big moon cycle on a moon day is really potent and really powerful. And I feel like this is your wink wink from spirit to really work on this energy from now on, from the time you see this, if you watch it in real time, until the full moon, and then do a real release ceremony, you know, a cleansing of some kind with water or fire. I would say fire because it's fall, and it's whenever there's a full moon. October is a very witchy, powerful moon, right? Samhain is the Day of the Dead, Samhain, Halloween, that whole energy. That's when the veil thins and we are connected to our rooted ancestors. And I believe the ancestors are going to crawl through that veil, and some shit is going to get really real over that time. A lot of things are, the fakery and the fuckery will be exposed. There will be no more hiding in the shadows. It's going to be very intense. And I feel like over the next, I heard 6 to 7 eclipse seasons, which we have eclipse season every 6 months. So that would mean, you know, for the next several years, we're going to be, because if you do 2 a year, right, we're going to be releasing a lot, and then we will get back into the equilibrium of it. But it's very powerful and it's really beautiful. And spirit is like, hang in there. You are that light. Be the light that you were meant to be, okay? That's what you were brought here to do. And they say, let me see. I don't know if you want me to read any more from the book. Do you want me to read any more from the book? Yeah, because when my, because my glasses fell. And I always like take certain things. Do you have any more messages for reading too before we move on? Nope, those are your messages. I feel like we kind of left it. There's like so much more in the book, but you know what? There we had it. I feel like you guys got what you needed. If not, maybe in one of the other readings we'll give you another puzzle piece. And if not, it might be from another reader. It might even be to go to Crystal Channel to find that reading. You know what I mean? Whatever, follow the breadcrumbs, okay? And also, sometimes don't just go jump to another reading or jump to another thing. If you're feeling jumpy, Toad the Wet Sprocket came in. If you're feeling jumpy, then maybe take a break, right? Like maybe take a breather. Maybe that's spirit trying to tell you, you know, instead of getting jumpy, go and get grounded instead. Do we want to pull any messages out of Toad the Wet Sprocket? Do you want me to tell him about the one that happened earlier? Okay, so earlier when I was putting this together, it was so crazy the way it happened, and his head like popped off and fell over, and like, I mean, the whole thing could have toppled out, but like only like 4 or 5 pieces came out. Do you want me to tell him what they were, Spirit? Because I will probably remember. Okay, so they'll either have me put a picture in the community, look in the community section. They'll either have me put a picture of that. That's an extended message, and maybe this is one for you. And or they may have me do a shorts because maybe it's for more than one person. I know that there was a letter G in there, but there was more stuff, and oh, I got the chills. So anyway, all right, is that it? Do we have any more messages for reading 2 at this time? Nope, that's it. All right, you guys. We love you so much. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. Blessed be. Bye. Whoop. Welcome, reading 3. Oh, I'm so excited to do your reading. As I was setting up your altar and as Toad the Wet Sprocket wanted to come in, Judy Garland came in and started singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I feel like you are my dreamers, my believers in magic, my deep down believers in magic, and I'm giving you claps for your hard work on this planet, and also clapping because that's what we do to help Tinkerbell come back to life. So you're here today because you saw the title that said, "What am I holding that my soul is ready to release?" And I feel like because you have such a very, like, it's really hearty, and it's interesting. I'm feeling a very heavy energy from you, but I'm also feeling like a very hearty, loving energy from you. They just had me adjust that. Very intense. They want you to know before we even start the reading, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And they know you've heard this before, but they really want you to hear it now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Depression, sadness, guilt, rage, anger, all of these things, shame, Maybe your controlling is coming back. You're like, I thought I was done with this. I thought, whatever you're going through right now is the symptom of what is holding you back and what you need to release. It's not a coincidence that Spirit called me to record this reading today on a moon day, on the first quarter moon. First quarter moons are all about taking action. They want you to take action now towards whatever this blockage is so that you can fully release it and really work with it over the next week before the full moon. Whenever you watch this, it's always timeless, so do it in that cycle. You know, even if you're watching it on a third quarter moon or whatever, then it means the next first quarter moon, you know, take action, and then by that full moon, release that energy. Not everyone is going to be at the same place right now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. I feel like that, like they really want me to like ride that home. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. And it may feel ugly and uncomfortable, unconscionable on some levels. Maybe people, person, places, and things are doing things that you just never thought they would do, or maybe it's something they did in their past and it's come back. You know, maybe it's somebody that you know that was like been clean and sober for years, fell off the wagon. I mean, this is that kind of energy that you can push and push and push something away, but until you actually deal with it, until you actually release it and let it go, make peace with it, make friends with it, tell it you love it, that part of you that's driving you to do these things, because it's like comforting a child. You know, most of our, it's interesting that it started raining. We're 55 minutes into this, but I mean, I take breaks in between. So, but either way, it wasn't raining when I started this. When I started recording these 5 readings, it wasn't raining, and it's raining now. So I feel like maybe it's a release. You need to cry and let go of something. I feel like it's like really deeply, 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 deeply rooted, like really heavily rooted. And I want to ask Spirit because something's coming through. Okay. Okay. Okay, they want me to put a pin in. Sometimes when I'm channeling, I get it like word for word, and sometimes when I'm channeling, it's like watching, did you ever watch the Star Wars movies where like at the beginning it's like words are scrolling? Sometimes that's what it feels like. It sometimes feels like I'm reading it, but it's interesting because what I was channeling, it felt like there was so much about to come through, and then whenever they stop me, I know that means like, okay, we're going to put a pin in that now, so retain that information. We're going to jump to the card and we're going to come back to that. Okay, so you chose, oh, I knocked your mushroom off. So number 7, stress. Oh, that makes so much sense. And maybe for some of you, like the somewhere over the rainbow is, maybe you're like going through certain things because you're like, well, if I can just do this and make everybody happy, we're all going to like get to this beautiful place. But I mean, look at, even the dog is like tethered or whatever. Is that a dog? I don't have my glasses on. Hold on. Yeah, because they had me turn the lights off. They wanted, this is the lighting they wanted. I think that's a dog, but it kind of looks like a rat. I can't tell. Anyway, maybe you can see it clearly. But look at how much shit they're juggling. That's the main, like, that's the main message here. That's what you need to release, is trying to fucking please everybody. And I, with all due respect, I have to say, this is a difficult one because, you know, I feel like you guys are, you know, you're really old souls, right? But, and I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, when I started this reading, it's like, I don't like to look at the cards either because I want to go with the energy of it. I don't want to have a like preconceived energy. So sometimes they have me look at the cards, you know, before, and sometimes they don't. And when they don't like this, and I get so upset, then I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm with you on this, like a little deflated. And I get it, right? You're feeling deflated. You're feeling deflated because you're like, I don't know. I just don't know. And Spirit's like, you do know. You're just moving too fast to see it. Everything's moving way too freaking quickly. So let's get to this. Number 7, stress. We're going to go into the book. Stress. This is from the Osho Zen Tarot deck, and it's super intense. Like, there's so much happening in this deck. I haven't had a chance to like really look it over, or actually I don't even feel like I'm supposed to be honest. I feel like I meant to just look at it when I look at it, but it's super intense, and the way they set it, I understand and appreciate the way they set up the book, but it's also kind of frustrating because it probably made perfect sense to them, and that's fine, it's their deck, right? But like, to me, it does not make sense. I'm like, I don't understand. It just seems like it could have been in a different way. But look at me judging. Listen to me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this says, how many people do you know who, just when they were completely overloaded with too many projects, too many balls in the air, have suddenly come down with the flu or taken a fall and ended up on crutches? Do you do that? I've done that. I had a friend who did it religiously. I had a few friends who did it religiously. And I would say that to them. I'm like, because it's almost like, it's like they go, and I feel like this is for you too. It's like, I feel like you go until you run out of fuel or something happens, and then Spirit, like, I feel like this is a message for me too. I spoke about it in reading 1, but basically, Spirit hobbled me not once, but twice in the last week, where I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, you know, if you don't want to see the signs or you don't want to pay attention, they will do something until you do. So, with that being said, that's just the sort of quote unquote bad timing that the little monkey with the pin in his hand is about to. Oh, it's a monkey. It's not a dog. It's not. Hold on. Nice. Oh my goodness. It's a monkey. That makes so much sense. I was like, and you know, it's kind of cool too, because I was just talking about addictions, and it's like a monkey on your back. You know what I mean? Look at how, you know, there's different colors, different stones for these mushrooms that one of our other tribe members sent us. So Zoe sent the deck, and Anna sent these little mushrooms, these little crystal mushrooms. But I love how it matches almost like perfectly with the scene. You know what I mean? That little mushroom, I forget which stone that is, that orangey mushroom. But you know me, I'm all about like, also it makes sense that it's a fire. So it's like, it would be like wands in the tarot. So it'd be like the 7 of Wands, which makes sense because the 7 of Wands is very similar to this card. It's just they have their own different version of it. So, oh, I just got the chills. So that's just the sort of bad timing. The little monkey with the pin in his hand is about to impose on the one-man band pictured here. The quality of stress represented by this card visits all of us at times, but perfectionists are particularly vulnerable to it. So release being a perfectionist, release being a people pleaser. Say, I'm going to learn to say no and set my boundaries and really mean it, and not with stress or are they going to love me, not love me, especially if you have somebody in your life who, I feel like you guys, there's at least somebody in this reading who has at least one person, if not multiple people, who you will break your back if it means just staying in their good graces. And I feel like they are kind of a jerky jerk and take advantage of that, and they know that. And I feel like for some of you, I feel like it's more than one of you, because I'm feeling like parents, like elder parents who, like, you know, they're older and they're like, well, you should take care of me kind of thing. And it's like, you know what though? Like, you made your bed, like you made your whole life. Like, this is the life I want to go live. You guys, you're not entitled to take care of people. If you feel it's your calling, then do it. Absolutely. But then if you want to live somewhere else or go somewhere else, be like, well, I'm moving here. If you want to move here with me, you can do that, and maybe we can get a house together, or like a house with a little guest house, and like you live in the smaller house and they live, you know, and you help take care of them if it feels right. But if it's something where you can't be yourself, why would you do that? How many more years of your life are you going to give up for other people? That's what they're asking you right now. And maybe that's why the tears are coming through with the rain on top of my head right now. Let go. Release.
Say goodbye, people pleaser. I am not this person. That's not who you really are. That's the thing, reading 3. That's not who you really are. That's just who you've become. You know, this has been coming up for a lot of people who have had struggles since they were small children. If one of your things that's holding you back from, because the whole thing is, I keep getting this from Spirit, and what they're trying to show us is that, like, you're aligned, if you're aligned with the 5th dimensional energy, but like in your consciousness, but like your outwardly world is not, you're going to keep running into things. Things are going to keep, you know, until you finally release and let go. And, you know, so I feel like this is a big message, a really big one. So please listen, set those boundaries, learn to say no, or teach yourself, rewire your brain to set boundaries and say no. And also, you know, you don't know how they're going to respond. And if they do respond poorly, you know, use your own languaging, but, you know, say something. I know with my family and friends, I had to say to some of them, like, so to make you happy, I should be miserable. I should change. They're like, oh, you're going through a phase. Or I'm like, I'm not going through a phase. I've just been this stupid bitch this whole fucking time. And I don't normally say stupid bitch, but like, that's kind of the energy that I realized. That's what it felt like, where I was like, you know, and of course that's judging myself and all that. And I'm working on that, but right. But like, that's I call it my Southside Chicago Kelly, my shadow that always tries to protect me. But that's kind of like, that's my way of trying to explain to them and their language, right? Like, no, that's just the way that you just thought you can keep getting away with it. And I've allowed it. And for some of you, it could be a month, a day, a year. It could be 50 years. I don't know. You guys are all ages. You're from all over the world. You know, you're going through different experiences. I can feel there are so many of you here. So this is the message that you needed to hear. This is what your soul is saying. It says, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? Because it's not you. It's the old version of you. You get it? Like, that's what they want you to align with. Also, I don't know if you guys see this or not, but do you guys see like the little creature? If you look between the card and the rose quartz mushroom head and Toad the Wet Sprocket's foot, do you see the little creature with the 2 little eyes peering around there? I feel like that's for some of you guys, like that's that little shadow that's like trying to keep you from being the best version of yourself. And their little glowy eyes, their little sparkly eyes want to call you in. And if you don't know what I'm talking about right here. Do you see it? Oh, they look like, there's this one character from a movie and I can't think, Groot, I think that's his name. Anyway, so that I feel like they're peering around his leg. Okay, so interesting. The quality of stress represented by the card visits all of us at times, but perfectionists are particularly vulnerable to it, which perfectionism is also a form of controlling. We create it for ourselves with the idea that without us, nothing will happen, right? That's the ego too, right? Well, if I don't do it, nobody else will. Well, tough shit, then it doesn't get done. Especially in the way we want it to. Control, right? Perfectionists. Well, what makes you think you're so special? Do you think the sun won't rise in the morning unless you personally set the alarm? No. Go for a walk. Buy some flowers and fix yourself a spaghetti dinner. Anything unimportant will do. And that was in quotes, unimportant. Just put yourself out of that monkey's reach. And they, you know, when they talk about the monkey mind, that's what they're saying. Like, don't let the monkey mind rule your thoughts and your world. Do we want to read this side as well? Okay, do you want me to read from Toad first before we go to this? Okay, so we're going to go to this. We're going to go to Toad last. Okay, so the second part of this message, it's also number 7, and 7s are about cycles and change and transformation, right? Like we go, 5 is the number for change and transformation, but 7 is also, it's this cycle, right? Like it's about the end of a cycle. Like you're done with that life. Like you're done with that person. That is not who you are. It says, all private goals are neurotic. The essential man, now listen, in all of these so far, Spirit has been very adamant that when I say man, or when I say woman, that it represents the divine masculine and divine feminine. These energies are androgynous, right? So this is talking about the divine masculine, which is another reason why you're feeling stressed, because the ego, a lot of the shadow is driven by the divine masculine energy, that yang energy, right? Like war. That's why they say men are from Mars, the planet of war, and women are from Venus, the planet of love. It's the truth. But all that is saying is this: the divine feminine is love, and the divine masculine is like wants, it's there to fight. And if wielded correctly, the divine masculine is enchanting and beautiful and amazing. But if wielded for, control and power and all that, right, it like knocks us out of our energy field. And we feel like we're balancing on fucking balloons, that monkey is like, he's tied to the monkey, but look at, the monkey is like your mind, right? And it's but your mind's about to fucking blow this shit up, because your mind's like, I don't want to fucking deal with all this. I'm on overload. I'm going to pop this button, or pop this balloon. You're going to fall. You're going to get hurt. And now you're going to have to take time to recover. But in the meantime, you've told all these people you're going to do all these things. And then, right, then you don't just feel stressful because you one thing, but all of a sudden now you can't do like 5 things. And now all of these people, and it's like, but at the same time, was it meant to be? Were you meant to help them to stop and be like, maybe they didn't get the perfect cake you were supposed to make for the party? Maybe, this didn't happen for this other person that you said that you would do for this, and then something, but then some other thing will happen, a miracle. It's just we're part of it. But you don't need to take it all on. That part of you, what you've done is over. Thank it with grace and gratitude. Thank Spirit and move on. So it says, all private goals are neurotic. The essential divine masculine comes to know, to feel, I am not separate from the whole, and there is no need to seek and search for any destiny on my own. Things are happening. The world is moving. Call it to God, Creator, whatever you believe in. The divine masculine, the Creator, the divine masculine side of the Creator is doing the things. They are happening of their own accord. There is no need for me to make any struggle, any effort. There's no need for me to fight for anything. I can relax and just be. The essential divine masculine is not a doer. You know what? They want me to read this over from the man, but want you to put the divine masculine in your head. Okay. But some of you needed to hear it that way. Okay. So all private goals are neurotic. The essential man comes to know, and this is talking about the person in the card, but that's you, right? The essential man comes to know, to feel, I am not separate from the whole, and there is no need to seek and search for any destiny on my own. Things are happening. The world is moving. Call it God. He is doing things. They are happening of their own accord. There is no need for me to make any struggle, any effort. There's no need for me to fight for anything. I can relax and be. The essential man is not a doer. The accidental man is a doer. The accidental man is, of course, then in anxiety, tension, stress, anguish, continuously sitting on a volcano. It can erupt any moment because he lives in a world of uncertainty and believes as if it is certain. This creates tension in his being. He knows deep down that nothing is certain. Okay, so while I was reading this and my throat chakra got tight, I feel like also you don't delegate. Like I just pictured like a PTA president, like in a school, or maybe it's a principal. I don't know who it is, but I'm just seeing like this person who's an authority, and it looked like a woman. And instead of like delegating, you're trying to do these things, because I get the vibe that, and maybe this is your divine feminine that is going more in the divine masculine, where they want you to switch it up for love and believe in faith and believe in magic and miracles and believe that everything's in its own divine, and that you don't have to have your hands on and in everything to make sure it goes out correctly. It doesn't have to go out correctly. That's the beauty of humanity, being flawed, being different, allowing things to, unfold the way they're supposed to. And I'm hearing that that's why this happens, because you're controlling it, because you, like, maybe someone at like your school or work or in the family is delegated a task, and you have had experiences with them in the past, maybe it's more than once, where they don't show up, or they don't do it correctly, or they're like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and you're like, dude, they're not going to really bake things. They're going to like go and get some shitty sugar filled cookies. You know what, I'll do it. Right? Because you're like, then you know for sure that the kids are going to be eating healthy treats, and the baker, the ingredients, and you're going to put the card out and tell them everything on there. You're going to have ones for certain allergies because you're that mom, or you're that teacher, or that boss, or that person, right? And then someone else's, you go to you're putting a potluck dinner together for Thanksgiving for your family, and someone in your family pulls something that is your favorite food, and you're like, oh dude, they're gonna fucking get stovetop. I'm just gonna make stuffing. You know what? I'll make my stuffing too, and then they can make their thing. But it's like, but no one's fucking asking you to. No one's telling you to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is the energy I'm getting, that you have so many plates in the air, and then they all come crashing down, and then you go through this same cycle of like loathing yourself, hating yourself, and it's like, they're like, when is enough going to be enough? When are you going to stop? And this could be for some of you with people in your lives, like significant others, like, or maybe you can't commit to somebody and you date a lot of people, and then like, you're like, nothing ever works out. And it's like, yeah, because your energy, you're, seeing this person, you're seeing that person, and you're like, oh, if I can just put these 3 people together, it'd be like a perfect person. But it's like, no, it's like the right person will be there, for you. And for some of you, I feel like the right person is there, but you're, maybe you're having a hard time moving forward. It could be aging. It could be, maybe you're feeling the cycle of this old life is ending. So you're trying so hard to hold on to this current life. And you're like, but everything about you tells you that it's wrong. Everything about you tells you to like stop and move on. I have to read the messages, even if it feels personal or if it comes up with stories of people I'm connected to. I was like, that's why it was so edited, because I was just like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so Spirit, do we want to do any more messages or channeling before we go into Toad the Wet Sprocket? Okay, so now we are going to move this over, and I feel like this wants to come out of this. Also, this Lemurian crystal wanted to come out, so I feel like that's for somebody. Maybe that's a wink wink that you needed to like also remind you that this is your reading. Okay? They're having me do this so that I can bring this together. Okay. Spirit, do we want to put it on this one? Do we want to put it on this one? Okay, do we want to leave it where it is? Do we want to take the things off that are on there? Okay, do we want to put anything behind it so nothing flies off of it? Okay, so, sorry. So here's, I just took his little head off, and this is what I do. I just give it a good shake. I feel like they want me to put them together so that they, I get what you're saying. Okay. Sorry, I hope that doesn't hurt your ears. I feel like they're doing this so that it'll be easier to find if they fly or try to fly forward. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm going to put your card right there. Oh, I wondered why they wanted me to put certain things in certain places. Now it makes so much sense. The card's like... Okay. Okay. The card's in the back. Got it. Okay, so I'm shaking it up. Okay, Spirit. That's it. Okay, now remember that these will be, these are for everybody. So it may be for you, it may not be for you. I kind of see what they want me to do here. Ooh, I love this. Hold on one second. Okay, so I flipped them all over. And whatever words you see, sometimes I'm like, what? Like, what does that mean? Or, but it may not mean something to you, but it might mean something to somebody else. Interesting though, California came up twice. And we have our, what's so interesting is I was like, this feels like if I were to look at this, this would feel like a personal reading to me, because I grew up in Chicago and I lived in California left California, went back to California. And then I lived in Oregon. So OR, I was like, what? And then like, I have a lot of R's in my life that like, I don't talk to anymore. It was just really interesting. So I don't know who this is for. Also, when I saw Virgin, they had, mint, or is that hint? Ooh, I thought it was mint, but let me see if I can. Hint. Ooh, hint. I thought it was mint. But but the Virgin was over delicious taste you'll crave. So I feel like, and then I saw one, and I feel like for some of you, it could be like maybe you need to use more virgin ingredients. I mean, it can mean anything. I mean, we could have virgins on here. I don't know, but but I felt that. But interesting though, volunteering site, mama. And maybe it's like, if you like, it's like one of those things. Have you ever seen those poetry magnets for the refrigerator? It could be that too. Where like, if you put the words together in a certain way, it'll spell something out. Also, I thought this was interesting because it has earth rated. That was another thing too. It was above this. Or maybe you've been getting hints to like go more. Maybe you need to use virgin olive oil. I don't know. Let's just put it this way. I didn't see virgin and think like sex or like someone. If anything, it's like maybe being a novice. Maybe you're new at something. I don't know. It could be maybe for some of you, if it is an addiction, maybe it's like you keep doing it because every time, like you're craving that energy from feeling of the first time, right? Like losing your virginity for the first time, like you're never going to get your virginity back, right? Like, so it could be like maybe a loss of innocence as well. Also, I always like to see if there's any other words on the back, like this has some letters. And when they do, I turn it over because I feel like there might be extended messages there. 2 R's though, and they're both capital R's. So I find that interesting. That might be something really big. Oh, look, this one has letters too. Hold on, I'm wasting space. I'll be right back. Okay, so we only have a few new ones. This one here, so if any of these letters mean anything. And then burn, which is interesting. Look at delicious one over Chicago. When I saw that, I swear to God, I heard Nona. So I feel like, and this feels like a branch from like an olive tree. I'm telling you, maybe you've been trying to perfect a recipe from a family member and they're like, it's just a hint of virgin olive oil, like just a hint, and you need to get virgin olive oil. It's important. Like, I feel like, so maybe it's an ancestor in Chicago. That's super interesting. But I mean, yeah. Also, I'm seeing olive trees in California. Maybe you're meant to like make some olive oil from like from mama. Like now I'm seeing it as like a mama, like mama's recipe, right? Like they're saying have this site, like you have, and for some of you I'm hearing like you do have the site. You're not crazy. And they had me put this one upside down because I feel like, we have different languages. So it could be, maybe it'll, and this looks like, this one next to the R looks like and I don't know. And then the suggestion, maybe they're like, it's just a suggestion, like, or maybe I don't know. It could be different for everybody. But I hope that helped you in any way. And maybe that's why you're feeling stressed. It could be for some of you, you're the ancestral breakers, and maybe this is what your Nona did, and she doesn't want you to do that. She doesn't, maybe this is a message from all of our ancestors that are like, you don't have to, like, I know for me, this is too close to home for me on like so many levels. It's crazy. So I'm like, this might be part of my reading too, because I was getting things coming through for me and my partner as well. But I will tell you that, you guys, it's been really difficult loving and holding the love for someone that is going through their shadow. And we have to remember that it has nothing to do with us. I feel like some of you want this picture, so hold on. Let me get it in focus. Yeah, like now I'm hearing like this kind of like mamma mia, yeah, like this kind of, and also interesting that every reading they have me, not every reading, but they have me change my rings sometimes, and I'm wearing both of my vintage rings, and I feel like this is, yeah, this is definitely a message for somebody. Maybe you're thinking about starting your own business. It could be, we get Grandma Rose in here a lot. Maybe the 2 R's, it could be for her. Okay, you guys, I think, is that it, Spirit? Do we have any more messages for reading 3 at this time? Nope, that's it. All right, I love you guys so much. If you'd like to work with me or contribute to any of the work that I do on this channel, it is in the description box. And also, if you click on my channel at the top where it says about me, there's all the stuff, all the information in there to reach out if you'd like to work with me. magickalmedium@gmail.com. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell, because I'm no longer doing Sacred Sunday. That chapter has come to a close, but I am going to start doing something called the Sacred Circle, but it's going to be whenever they tell me to do it, and it won't necessarily be planned, and that's okay. It just means you're meant to be there when you're meant to be there, but make sure that you have your notification bell on so you don't miss it. All right, until next time, I'll see you. Love you, love you, love you. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, reading 4. I don't normally do this, but so much is coming through while I'm setting up your altar, so I'm just going to go with it. I'm feeling a really, really deep Egyptian energy from you guys. Like I'm hearing this like this like music that's just very, not tribal, but like, yeah, like Egyptian. And when I pull the card away, I feel like there's a lot of scrying going on. So I want you to take some time to, while I'm setting this up, like take some time to connect with your Egyptian roots. You are somehow, some way connected with Egypt. Also, this Labradorite wanted to come in. So maybe this is your ancestors trying to, talk to you and call to you. Tiger's Eye came in. I mean, there's like some really deep spiritual things going on. I almost feel like I want to go out just a little bit more. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I see. So let me see if I can go deeper. Okay. Because you see, when the light changes, it gives you different images as well, because that's from real wood. So the grain is going to be from the tree. So even though this is a piece of furniture, at one point this was a tree. And then it was also stained. So it's wherever the stain picked up. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. There's so much coming in right now. I'm feeling just a lot of heavy sadness. You probably saw it from when maybe the title drew you in, but this reading is, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? And also, in real time, today is September 29th, 2025, and it is the first quarter moon of this second, what they call the dark moon, the next moon in Virgo. So we're working through some really heavy, dark energies, and you're not alone, and they want you to know that. And this came through in one of the other readings as well. So if you're drawn to one of the other readings, I don't know if they want me to say which one at this time, but you are exactly where you're supposed to be, even though it doesn't feel like it, and it's really uncomfortable and unsteady energy. They're saying no fears, like you're good, you got this, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Like, they want me to say it one more time, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And they had me say it for one of the other readings too. So let's get into your card. Oh, it's in reverse too. That makes sense. Oh, these kind of cards always make me so sad when they put children in them. Because, there's such an innocence with children, where they're so excited about something, and then they get there and they're like, oh man, it's locked. It's closed today. I can't go. Well, this is the outsider. Oh, I have the chills all over my body, number 5, and it was in reverse. But that's good that it was in reverse, I feel like, right? Because if this is the outsider, they had me pick it up that way. Anyway, we're going to read from the book, but I feel like what they're trying to show you is that it's okay to be the outsider. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, because you're an outsider because you're an insider. They want you to start taking more pride in the fact that, like, why would you want to be there? You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of like, right? Like, If you're holding on to a person, place, or thing that is no longer serves you and is outdated, they're like, why would you want to be there? That's what they want you to start asking yourself. Also, my eyes came to the amethyst, and amethyst is very healing. It could be an addiction. It could be some of you, you don't even realize it, but like maybe, addiction's been coming up a lot for our tribe. It could even be that you're addicted to the pain and suffering, right? Like if you go into a new community where everybody's like this and sparkly, it's intimidating. If you've had to hide who you are forever, and then all of a sudden you find these people who are like, no, come hang out with us. It's awesome. We're super sparkly. You're sparkly. Let's be sparkly together. Let's be sparkly together. And you're like, no, I'm still in my, because I feel like this represents you. And, this is the first reading where the crystals and stones came in so much. So I feel like maybe this is, some of you are either, could be a life path for you, for just everyday healing, or it could actually be a job. Like maybe you're really into crystals and stones, and maybe you're at a job that you feel like an outsider, and spirit's like, oh, look at that. Talk about scrying. It kind of looks like an owl. Do you see that? Do you see the eyes? Woo-hoo! Work with owl spirit medicine anyway, because that was fucking wild. Yeah, the lighting's been really weird since I started this. So, okay, there we go. But it could be that like maybe at your job or your home, your family, you're feeling like an outsider. This is what your soul wants you to release, because you are an outsider. I said this in one of the readings. It might have been the first one. So if you were drawn to any other readings, you may want to go there. But the scene in The Craft where the guy's like, do you guys need a ride? The bus driver, he's concerned about them being out in the middle of nowhere by themselves, 4 young teenage girls. And he goes, you've got to be careful for those weirdos out there. And she's like, mister, we are the weirdos. That's what spirit wants you to see. They want me to take a picture of this too. It's okay to be the weirdo. You're meant to be the weirdo. My throat chakra is really tight. I know it makes you uncomfortable to have people look at you, or people to see you who you really are. They're like, but there's no more holding back. Today, the day that they're having me do this is not just about the first quarter moon and the energy of that is taking action, but it's also, today is the 29th. And if you add it all together, all the numbers for the date today, it comes out to the number 11. So, Earth Angel, right? Like, will you be mine? Spirit's like trying to like get you to understand that, you've been preparing your whole existence for this. Your soul as well. This is the time. This is the hour. We have the strength. We have the power. We have the power to fight those who are telling us we're the outsiders. No, they're the outsiders. People who want hate, people who want war, people who want control, people who want greed and don't care about other people. They are the outsiders. There's more of us than them, and Spirit wants you to know that that's the truth, and they want you to believe that, and they want you to see that, because that is the truth. So your soul wants you to release any fear that you don't belong or that you're not accepted. You are accepted here, and this is the only place that matters amongst your other earth angels, light workers, witches and healers, and deep down believers in magic. We are with you. We don't think you're crazy. Anything you tell us, we don't think you're crazy. I work with adults and children, and one of my really good friends, her son was struggling with a lot of things, and he was in that really beautiful age of innocence where, he still believed in magic and miracles and all that, but he was going into his boyhood where, like statistics and society and all this bullshit, like at this age, like, be a man or act like a man, but he still like wanted to stay, like run around in his magician cape and I'm like, that's who he is. Like, that's awesome, but he was getting bullied and made fun of. And of course, I'm irate, right? Because as an adult, I'm just like, but what are they doing? They're making fun of something they don't understand. So we send them love. We send them understanding. But in our session, the way he looked at me with such trust, because he'd known me for a long time and he knew that he could be himself. And his mom was present, and his mom was so great. And she's like, do you want me to leave? And there was a point where it was just me and him. And there was times where we were with the family. But long story short, there was a moment where he told me that he can move things with his mind. He's like, I can move things. And I said, I believe you. And he said, I can move that nail polish on the table with my mind. And I said, okay. I said, then do it. I want to see it. Show me. I said, I'm open. I'm here. I said, wherever two or more gather. And he was really trying. And I saw it rattle a little bit. And I said, listen, It's not a fucking parlor trick, okay? I said, this is your unique special gift. You know, it's, people aren't just mediums, or, you know, it's like telekinesis, and certain things are very real and people can do that. And there are a lot of people who are afraid, or they don't know how to use their power. They don't know how to harness their power. What if you, reading for, what if you're like that, one of the souls that was put here to help people like that, help children like that? Look deeper. You're not an outsider. You came here to do something. You have a special gift. And it's even though someone may have a similar gift, it's not your gift. You have a special gift. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It might just be working with children, but it might be that. I don't know. But I have so many stories. I've worked with thousands of people over the years now in many capacities. And so, you know, but that's the story that came up. Let me see what they, do we want to go into the book now? Okay, so we're going to go into the book and see what further information we have. And just so you know, this is from the Osho Zen Tarot. This was donated by one of our tribe members, Zoe. We are so grateful. Thank you, Zoe. I love this deck. And, you know, it's one of those that even though I've had it for many moons now, you know, Spirit just hasn't had me work with it that much. But every time I do, it's very exciting because it has so many, there's so much depth and character and levels to this beautiful deck. Okay, so we are looking under, so this is the suit of rainbows. So if the suit of fire is wands, and the suit of water is cups, and the suit of clouds is air, then this is the suit of rainbows. I mean, would that be earth? That's interesting. Either way, it's the suit of rainbows. How cute. Let me get my glasses on. Okay, it is on page 146, which is also the number 11. There are no accidents. I love it. Okay, the small child in this card is standing on one side of a gate, looking through it. And in this deck and in this reading, they're having me, if I say he or she, I'm representing, it's representing the divine masculine or the divine feminine. So obviously in the story, you know, but it's interesting because all of these cards, they really could be androgynous, the person that's in it. Like, why couldn't a little girl look like that? You know what I mean? So just know that when I'm saying he, I'm also speaking of the divine masculine. And we all have divine masculine and feminine, and it's about, this reading is about the equinox. It's about bringing the balance back. It's about bringing back to us that was taken away or lost over time or whatever, but releasing what no longer serves us and reclaiming what's really ours. So it says, the small child in this card is standing on one side of a gate looking through it. He is so small and so convinced that he cannot get through. He cannot see that the chain holding the gate is not locked. All he has to do is open it. Oh, I didn't notice that either. Did you guys notice that? Does that go? Oh, interesting. It looks like it's like hanging on that thing, but it's not. Oh, that's so weird. By the way, I just got this. Yeah, one of you guys, like, I don't know if you, I wasn't touching that. I felt that energy come in. Oh my gosh. I feel like they want me to take a screenshot. That's beautiful. Okay. He is so small and so convinced that he cannot get through. He cannot see that the chain holding the gate is not locked. All he has to do is open it. Whenever we feel quote unquote left out or excluded, it brings up this feeling of being a small, helpless child. It is not surprising, as the feeling is deeply rooted in our earliest childhood experiences. The problem is that because it is so deeply rooted, it plays over and over and over again like a tape in our lives. You have an opportunity now to step out of the tape, to quit tormenting yourself with ideas that you are somehow not enough, to be accepted and included. Recognize the roots of these feelings in the past and let go of the old pain. It will bring you the clarity to see how you can open the gate and enter that which you most long to become. It says, so you are feeling yourself an outsider. This is good. This is the transitory period. Now you have to be alert not to fill yourself with pain and misery. And I just heard again, now that God, Goddess, Creator, whatever you believe in, now that the Creator is no longer there, who's going to console you, right? You don't need any consolation. Humanity has come of age. Be a man, quote unquote, be a woman, quote unquote, and stand on your own 2 feet. The only way to be connected with existence is to go inwards, because there at the center you are still connected. You have been disconnected physically from your mother. That disconnection was absolutely necessary to make you an individual in your own right, but you are not disconnected from the universe. Your connection with the universe is of consciousness. You cannot see it. So you have to go deep down with great awareness, watchfulness, witnessing, and you will find the connection. The Buddha is the connection. Oh, I heard work with Buddha and Buddha's teachings, which also, there are a lot of people, I believe it too. I really do, because I get chills around it whenever so there is apparently documents that Jesus of Nazareth left that area from which he was born and traveled. People know that Jesus traveled around, but what a lot of people won't acknowledge is that Jesus actually traveled to work with the Buddha. He heard of Buddha, and he went and he worked with different religions. He studied, and I had been doing that since I was a child, and I didn't understand, I just because the whole form of Christianity, like that whole, it just felt wrong. Like it didn't feel right to me. I felt like an outsider at church. I felt like an outsider at school. I felt like an outsider in my home. I would scream every time I tried to kill myself, I'd cry to my mom and say, I don't belong here. I feel it. Don't you think I feel it? And everybody in my family would tell me I was the one that was seeing it wrong. I was the one that was they all saw it the same way, which they were right. They were seeing it that way because they were all still in the fucking matrix of it. And I knew from birth that I was different. I knew I was planted as a seed, as a star seed. I was put here, but we all had to be in families. Some of us grew up in like my family like that. Some people grew up in a foster home. Some people lived in a orphanage. They never ever had a home. They lived in like an institutionalized upbringing. I don't know whether it was good or bad, but right, like whatever good or bad means, quote unquote. So this is what they're trying to show us, that being an outsider is good. Work with Buddha, work with Buddha's teachings. Oh, this feels really powerful. Your soul is crying out to you, reading 4. Do we have any more messages for reading 4 at this time? Yeah, I knew one of these were going to be kind of like short and sweet, so to speak, but are we done with reading 4? Because sometimes I think we're done, but then there's some, do we want to do any channeling before we go? Do you want me to pull any more cards for reading 4 before we go? Okay, reading 4. Those are your messages. All of my information is in the description box, but it's also at the top of the channel in the About Me. If you click on About Me, you'll see ways to reach out to work with me one-on-one, or if you'd like to do a group reading. Another thing that's been coming through is Spirit wants me to, I know I say group readings, but when I say that, I mean, it could be with your friends to do, a journey to find your spirit animal, for a gathering. It could be a cleansing. It could be, so many different things, but also, because I do beyond readings, right? But also, sometimes it's nice to bring a family together if you lost somebody and you didn't get to say goodbye, or there was some, sometimes people really need that closure. So if you are seeking that, we can do that as well. And that's a set price. It's not like I charge you per people. It's like, it's on speaker, and I would do it over the phone, and you guys would put me on speaker, and that way you can be in the intimacy of one of your homes, and I can be in the intimacy of my home. And I channel with my eyes closed anyway, so there's really no reason for us to see each other. And it's just a way for you guys also just to connect without necessarily having to see me. Although a lot of times people like to send my information too, because people are like, what are they about, or what's their story or whatever. Anyway, there's that. And if you'd like to contribute to any of the work that I do on this channel, there are links to do that as well. And remember that prayer is free. It's about the exchange of energy. And Sacred Sunday's done. We are going to be doing a new thing called the Sacred Circle, and it's going to be really cool. And it's going to be kind of something like that, but it'll be different. Maybe we'll have times where it's like we're doing something like that, a journey to find our spirit animal. And sometimes it's like maybe we're all meant to be there, and our ancestors are going to channel, but we need the same messages. It's going to, make sure you have the notification bell on, because it's not going to be planned. It's going to be something when I feel the urge or spirit calls me to do it, whether it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. Okay? Until next time, I love you. Spirit loves you. Take good care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, reading 5. The whole time I was putting this together, before I even started reading one, I had a feeling that at least one reading was going to get more than one card, and it looks like they saved it for the last. So I wouldn't say the best for the last, because all the readings were so different. They had some similarities, of course, and of course I always say if you're drawn to other ones, go to them. It may complete your story, or it give you one more, piece of the puzzle that you need to understand things, or maybe it's the next breadcrumb on your journey to finding whatever truth you seek. So my eyes are going here, and I'm diving in. All right, here we go. Oh, we have mind. Wow, look at that. With all due respect, reading 5, like that's, this could be my reading too. So, but I'm just saying, like, my heart goes out, right? Like, because if this is what you feel like right now, that is not a good feeling. There's so much shit going on. I feel like I need to, like, put on my glasses and look at it even closer to see what's going on. It's like, you know what? This sounds gross, but, well, I guess gross or off-putting, but it reminds me of Saw, that movie Saw, where, like, basically, he chooses people that, I haven't watched it in years, and you couldn't pay me to watch another one. I don't need that, right? Especially as sensitive as an empath. I don't want to see the gore. I see enough every day. I don't need to go into that unless I'm called to, but even then it's like, I have to fast forward or plug my ears, or I haven't even watched certain movies since Alder and I separated, because I literally, like, I would rely on him to be like, it's over, it's cool, you can watch it again. Because I tried doing that myself, and it's like, why? I just saw the whole thing. Why? I'm like, no. Anyway, but yeah, I kind of feel like that. Or maybe you feel like you're in a horror movie of some kind, or maybe your mind is like spinning like all this like horrific energy. I don't normally go to 2, but I feel like right away, oh, look at that. It's upside down. I knew one of them had an upside down energy. That's so interesting. Look at that. Understanding. And they're from the same part of the deck. And I'll explain that when we go to read it. But that makes sense. Like, you're forgetting who you are. And just to give, like, I'm sure you already know, because maybe it was the title that drew you here, but I want to read it specifically. Oh, one of the crystals just flew out of my hand. If you're like really drawn to crystals and stones right now, sorry, I just want to see if they want me to see anything else. Ooh, also there's a penny on the ground. A penny for your thoughts. What does this mean? Does this have a year on it? I don't know. I don't have my glasses on, but I didn't even know I had a penny on my floor. So I feel like this is for somebody. Oh, look at that picture on the back. What is happening? Hold on. I'm like, hold on. I'm trying to get it better so you guys can see it. Is that upside down, or? I feel like this penny is really important. What does it say? I see that it's out of focus. They told me to leave it for a second. So it says, oh my gosh, even with my glasses, the lighting in here. United States of America, 1 cent. So maybe it means something like, don't give 1 more cent to somebody. Also, I believe this is 2016, but let's get in there and see if we can. Oh, oopsie. They really wanted me to see this. And maybe it's for, like, maybe right now, like, you're wanting to help with the crusade on the planet right now. Like, maybe you're getting too lost in the shadow, and spirit's trying to, maybe it's Abraham Lincoln. It literally could be. My gosh, you guys, you don't even know. Like, I don't really have change, and to see that on my floor is like, I don't even remember seeing that. It was under the bed. So that's really interesting. They also had me pull out, it'll come to me. If not, put it in the description box below. But this particular one wanted to come in, so I'm going to put that there with the angel. And this is an agate, but it's one of those cool ones that's like mixed with other, like, you know, things from the earth. So I feel like that's important for some reason. And let's go back to where that was. Wow, that was really intense, you guys. So the question is, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? If you were drawn to, I don't know if I was reading 3 or 4 now, my gosh, but one of them, they spoke of like the monkey mind and control and all that stuff. So that message there might be more messages in there for you. I guess whichever one you were drawn to, maybe it's both, I don't know. But like I said, it makes sense that you were drawn to this because I do feel like you're really struggling. You know, your soul wants you to release this, and your soul is reminding you that you're this. But you're upside down right now with that energy, right? Like, instead of understanding and knowing that, like, everything's fine and whatever, it's like you're getting lost in, you know, another report of another shooting or another, you know, whatever. Like, that's what they're doing. And they're the ones that created, have you ever seen that movie Wag the Dog? If you haven't, you need to go watch it, and I think it would make you feel better. I'm almost positive that's the name of it, and it's with Dustin Hoffman, and there's so many actors. I think Kirsten Dunst, or Kirsten, she was really young when they did that movie, and I saw her in an interview and she brought it up, and she was saying like how creepy, that's when reality TV started. Like, they knew, they had these masterminds that for decades knew that there was going to be an easier way to control. You know, they took over the airwaves and movies and what you can and can't watch. Why do you think the sitting American president in real time today is September 29th, 2025? And why do you think that they're doing that, right? Like, they co-created this, they wove this together, these, you can call them monsters, controllers, you know, whatever. It's like they have been doing this for a long time. It was part of their job too, was to help break us wide open, our hearts, and to push out that sludge, to push out this, you know, monkey mind, and, you know, making decisions for other people instead of, you know, or making your decisions based on other people's decisions instead of making the decision for yourself. This is really interesting because I have not read from this part of the book, so I'm kind of excited to see like what they're going to say. So let's dive in and see what the further the mind wants to tell us. So this comes from, they call it the clouds section, and it's the mastery of mind. Okay. So the first card is the mastery of mind, and it's on page 70. Ooh, one of the other readings was 7. It might have been 2 or 3. Whenever I get to like 5 like this, I'm like, forget it, you guys. I'm like, oh, bets are off. I'm like, I'm not going to remember. I'll try. Sometimes I do vividly, but also it's for you to find it on your own. Okay, so it says, mind. This is what happens when we forget that the mind is meant to be a servant, right? Not the ruler. And to start to allow it to run our lives. Also, they wanted me to tell you, whenever they speak of he or she in these books, that they're talking about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, okay? It's just a representation of it to help us. Right now, we're trying to get this back in. That's why I was drawn to this reading that was created for the equinox. It was about creating balance and reminding us how to recreate the balance in our lives, and that we're not going to forget about the third dimensional linear energy, or like, you know, our lives or experiences. It's just that we can't allow them in our mind, like especially our past, to completely dictate and drive our present or our future. So this says the head is filled with mechanisms. The mouth, this is the commentary on the card too. Let me see if they want me to go in closer. Yeah, let's get in a little bit closer on these cards. Okay. So this is what they're showing in the card. So while you're looking at the card, this is what it explains. This is what it is. The head is filled with mechanisms, the mouth is ranting and raving, and the whole surrounding, and whole is WHOLE, so the whole, like the collective, right? And the whole surrounding atmosphere is being polluted by this factory of arguments and opinions. But wait, you say, the mind is what makes us human. It's the source of all progress, all great truths. Well, if you believe that, try an experiment. Go into your room, shut the door, turn on a tape recorder, and give yourself total permission to say what is ever on your mind, right? Just go, just whatever, just keep going. If you really allow it to all come out without any censorship or editing, you'll be amazed at the amount of rubbish that comes spewing forth. It's so true. Oh my gosh, that I feel like I just had an aha moment. Did you guys? The page of clouds is telling you that somebody somewhere is stuck in a head trip. Take a look and make sure that it isn't you. This says, oh, interesting, you guys. Oh my gosh. So every so often Spirit will have me randomly put things in books and look at, there's a piece of lavender there. So maybe work with lavender, get yourself some fresh lavender, at least know where it's from, or work with, healthy like essential oils, lavender oils. But I'm getting that from Spirit. It's time for you to calm down, and it'll help calm your mind. One of the best things you could do before sleep is, I did this, my friend told me that it really worked for her and her kids, and so I tried it, and I took lavender essential oil, and every single night before bed, and I had it next to my bed so that I didn't have to get up, and it's always there. And right before bed, I'd put lavender oil behind my neck, like under like the nape of my neck, like kind of where what is that little thing like behind your neck and your skull, where it's like kind of connects your whole nervous system. It's not coming to mind right now, but I just really slather it on there and underneath there. And also it's nice because it'll go into my hair and into my hair follicles. So it'll, I'll be able to smell it even a little bit longer. And then I put a little on my wrists and the bottom of my feet, and I would sleep like a baby and I would have good dreams. Okay. So that is obviously for somebody because they had me put this in. I just got this book a few months ago. This is the first time I'm speaking of it. This is the situation of your head. I see cycle handles and petals and strange things that you have gathered from everywhere. Such a small head and no space to live in. And that rubbish goes on moving in your head, and your head goes on spinning and weaving, and it keeps you occupied. Just think what kind of thoughts go on inside your mind. One day, just sit, close your doors, and write down for half an hour whatsoever is passing in your mind, and you will understand what I mean, and you will be surprised what goes on inside your mind. It remains in the background. It is constantly there, and it surrounds you like a cloud. With this cloud, you cannot know reality. You cannot attain to spiritual perception. This cloud has to be dropped, and it is just with your decision to drop it, and then it will disappear. You are clinging to it. The cloud is not interested in you. Remember it. Also, when I was reading that, let me read it again. This cloud has dropped, and it is just with your decision to drop it that it will disappear. So they had me put together this short. I don't know when they'll have me post it, but it was from somebody else online that I found, and it said, just remember, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So, you're listening to this right now. It's going to go into your subconscious. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing it. If you say, oh, I can't stop, well, you're choosing. Addiction is a choice. It's just when we keep doing it and it's like then we make the addiction, we've become the servant to the addiction. And then we are no longer in control. The addiction is full on in control. And I mean, insert your story here. We all have our own addictions. We all have our own story. And they're saying, like, what story are you telling yourself? What is your mind telling you? There's a thing that they call automatic writing. A lot of mediums do it. I've done it, and it's amazing. But I remember one time I went back to one of my journals that I was practicing what they're talking about right here. And this is when I was still drinking and like hadn't fully gone like where I am now. And I took my journal because I was new, right? And I was like reawakening. I mean, I've always been this, right? But like having like my reawakening to like my path. And I remember taking my journal and my pen and to this bar across the street from my apartment that I used to love and sit at. And it was a beautiful night, and I got a glass of wine. I smoked a bunch of weed before I walked over there, and then I got a glass of wine and I watched the sunset, and I just wrote. And I promised myself that I wouldn't read it. You know, I just wanted to. But what was interesting is that years later, I found that journal and I went back and I read it, and it made me realize that it wasn't just automatic writing. It's kind of what they're saying here. Part of it was automatic writing, but then out of it, a lot of it also, thank you, Spirit, a lot of it also was that it was like my mind, and I was sitting by myself and I was observing. So I'm sitting outside, and so people were sitting outside dining, eating, because it was like a restaurant slash bar or whatever, right? And it was really famous and a lot of people went to it. And so there was usually at least, you know, a nice handful of people there. But not only that, but it wrapped around the bar, and I sat outside on the side street, and it was perfect because I can watch people walking by, but also it was like I was almost to the trash cans, let's put it that way. I was like the back table, so I can hear people walking up behind me from the neighborhood, from the houses and stuff, and going to the streets to go. This is when I lived in Portland, Oregon. Actually, it was really cool, and I lived in the southeast neighborhood. It was actually really magical that day. I remember it very vividly. But when I went to go and read it, it was like every single thing it made me realize how much I noticed things too. I mean, to the point where I was like, there's a baby crying, and that woman has a red ribbon in her hair. But it's like, so when I went back, it's like, even though I experienced it, when I looked up, by the way, it was 2 hours and 11 seconds, and 4 has been coming up for all this. And remember that this reading was based on the equinox. So about having balance, and 4s are about being balanced. And that's what they're trying to bring back to you, to get you to understand and for you to see, hi, Dad, that being the observer is really important. But they're saying, like, how are you using your mind? Are you using it for good, so to speak, right? Or like, are you filling it with a bunch of crap? But the cool thing is I realized that if somebody read this, I was like, wow, I really am a writer, because it's the details of it. You would have felt like you were there, because I was writing everything I was observing, to the point where I was like, you know, oh, the server just brought my drink. And you know what I mean? Just like, and it was really fucking cool. So I urge you, especially to the writers and the creatives, like, that might be a really good engine, in like a search engine, so to speak, through your own mind, to pull out the weeds and the gunk and the bullshit that's been taking up way too much fucking real estate that doesn't belong there anymore. And I'm getting from Spirit that we want to turn this over. By the way, I just noticed when I wanted to pick up this card, it looks like there's red ribbons in their hair. I was just talking about red ribbons. What the fuck? But I get the vibe they want me to turn this over, because, you know, that's chaos too. Some of you may be in a chaos of your own making, of your own web weaving, but not in the way that is in your greatest and highest good. For some reason, I'm getting this vibe. I felt this. Maybe there is another card. Oh my gosh, this one just flipped out. Clearly, this is it. Oh my gosh, here we go. Letting go. Oh my goddess. Letting go. Letting go and understanding. Oh, reading 5. I usually do 3, and I'll maybe do 4, but I haven't done 5 readings in one reading in a really long time. It's nice, but it can really take up a lot of space in your brain. I'm only going dark because I kind of wanted you to see the levels of it, you know, and the intricacies of it. And it's interesting, they're not having me read the understanding yet, even though that's the second card. They're having me read the 3rd card first. So let's go to letting go, which is also number 8. Oh, 8s are infinity. Letting go, number 8. And that comes from the suit of water, which makes sense because you can see the ripple in the picture. Maybe that's why they had me, so you can see the definition and see that there's water in there. It's also, oh my gosh, you guys, what did I say? What did I say? Oh, they had me draw your attention to 2, hold on. Here it is, letting go. You see my thumb? Where are we? Oh, I'm showing the wrong thing. See letting go right there? And then look at it, it's on 112. But it's a mirror. Remember I said it was 2 hours and 11 minutes. What the fuck? I mean, that's when I really love, like, I mean, honestly, there's some times when I'm done with the reading, so I'll be like, I love you, Spirit. I love my job. I'm like, thank you for giving me the best job. Okay. But that's for me, right? That's what feels good to me. So it says in this image of lotus leaves, oh, it's a lotus leaf. Beautiful. In the early morning, we can see in the rippling of the water that one drop has just fallen. It is a precious moment and one that is full of poignancy. In surrendering to gravity and slipping off the leaf, the drop loses its previous identity and joins the vastness of the water below. We can imagine that it must have trembled before it fell, just on the edge between the known and the unknowable, right? Like when it's falling, it doesn't know where it's going to land. To choose this card is a recognition that something is finished, something is completing. Oh, you guys, I love you so much. Just know you're not alone. We're all here to hold space for each other. Whatever it is, a job, a relationship, a home you have loved, anything that might have helped you to define who you are, it is time to let go of it. Allowing any sadness, but not trying to hold on. Something greater is awaiting you. New dimensions are there to be discovered. You are past the point of no return now, and gravity is doing its work. Go with it. It represents liberation. Yeah, like maybe some of you have been like praying for a long time or asking Spirit for clarity or asking for whatever, and they're like, okay, it's time. You know what? Now you're in the letting go phase. You know, in real time, it's the first quarter moon, and it's September 29th, 2025, which adding them together comes out to the number 11, which is the number of angels, which is why they also, you know, had me leave this one, because that's you. That's your angel wings. We'll get to that. But they wanted you to know that, like, you know, everything has a season, right? Like, especially in the Northern Hemisphere family, we're losing leaves. Like, we're going into winter where everything's going to go into hibernation. Our Southern Hemisphere family, where things are starting to grow and prosper. They're coming out of the cold, out of that, you know, that cold energy of winter. So the stillness of winter, and they'll be going into planting the seeds. We're in the harvesting. But there's always that space in between. You know, I've said this for years, and I will forever say it, that every season has 3 months. So remember that the first month is transition. The second month is learning, you know, taking in the knowledge, the lessons, and then the third month is releasing and letting go and getting ready, you know, for the next season. So in real time, we just went into fall a week ago. Give it some time. Whenever you watch this is timeless, but you know, maybe it could be that you're in the season of something that, like, it just shifted, it just changed. Maybe you're just getting out of a job or relationship or all of the above, you know, and they're like, give it time. You know, we need time to digest it. We need time to work through it. Don't rush the process. It says the letting go. In existence, there is nobody who is superior and nobody who is inferior. The blade of grass and the great star are absolutely equal. But man wants to be higher than others. He wants to conquer nature. Hence, he has to fight continuously. All complexity arises out of this fight. See, but remember when they said that in this book right now, in this this transmission, is that when they say he, they're talking about the divine masculine. So that makes sense. The divine masculine is falling apart. It's breaking, you know, because they want to fight. They want to, it's in their nature, right? Men are from Mars, right? Divine masculine is about this, the planet of war, and women are divine feminine are from Venus. We are the holders of love, right? That Isis energy. And they're saying that, remember, you know, that is just an old pattern. It's an old programming. Now we're bringing the balance back in. The divine feminine has been so far down the rung for so many centuries, and everyone's just let that be the norm, but it's not the norm. It's not natural to be so out of balance. That's why the planet and the polarity and all the wars and all these things are happening, because people are taking their power back. People are standing up and waking up and saying no more. So it says all complexity arises out of this fight. The innocent person is one who has renounced fighting, who is no longer interested in being higher, who is no longer interested in performing and proving that he is someone special, who has become like a rose flower or like a dewdrop on the lotus leaf. who has become part of this infinity, who has melted, merged, and become one with the ocean and is just a wave, who has no idea of the quote unquote I. The disappearance of the I is innocence, right? Because it's only the greed and the ego that's like mine, me, I want, I need, this is, I need to fill this. It's an old, very patriarchal, outdated system that we are now. The earth itself is in full fifth dimensional energy. So people are going to go along for the ride, or they're going to keep fucking hitting the speed bumps and keep hitting things. You know, I had a friend recently that was like, all these things happened to them. They broke like 3 really important tools in like a week. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm like, dude, that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to tell us. Like when we're done with something, or when we are not going with the flow of what we're meant to do, or where we're meant to be, or who we're meant to align with, spirit will keep throwing those fucking cogs in the wheel and keep, you know, where it's like nothing's going right. Well, if nothing's going right, that means that you're going the wrong way. And even if you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, now you have this knowledge. So moving forward, and you have this knowledge, you know, then this is between you and your soul, because this says, what am I holding that my soul is ready to release? Your soul is like, we're done with this. This isn't who you are. Listen to the wind going crazy and the wind chimes, and this has a wind energy. So letting go. Okay, let me make sure there's no more cards before I go to the angel card. Do we have any, Spirit, do we have any more cards for reading 5? Okay, now we are going to go to your angel card, and I feel like this is meant to go here to give you that clarity and that understanding that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Let's see if we can find it. Clarity. Oh, did this one have a number? Oh no, this was one of those that had the little thingies. Had the little thingies. I keep looking for clarity. I'm like, no, it's called understanding. Sorry. No wonder why I couldn't find it. Okay, so it's in the mastery of emotion. It's also a water energy. So either you are a water sign, or someone in your orbit may be a water sign. Nobody has to be a water sign, by the way, for this to be your message. I'm just saying you could be dealing with someone. Like, for instance, my moon's in Scorpio, that's a water sign. And the moon rules our emotions and our heart chakra, our heart energy. So it could be that you're connecting with somebody, or you have somebody in your orbit that is aligned with that energy. Okay, so it's also on page 62, which is the number 8. I mean, come on, there are no accidents, my friends. Okay, so here are your final messages. The bird pictured on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. Oh gosh, I didn't even realize that was a bird. You know what it looked like to me? The top looked like an acorn and the bottom looked like a chess piece. I don't know who that's for, but it looked like a flying chess piece to me. I saw the other birds in the background, but I was like, what is going on? And that's so interesting. See what I mean? Our perception is just so interesting and important. The bird pictured on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. There's no door, and actually the bars are disappearing. The bars were an illusion, and this small bird is being summoned by the grace and freedom and encouragement of the others. It is spreading its wings, ready to take flight for the very first time. The dawn of a new understanding that the cage has always been open, and that the sky has always been there for us to explore, and can make us feel a little shaky at first. It's fine and natural to be shaky, but don't let it overshadow the opportunity to experience the lightheartedness and adventure on offer right there alongside the shakiness. Move with the sweetness and gentleness of this time. Feel the fluttering within and spread your wings and be free. The understanding is you are out of jail, out of the cage. You can open your wings and the whole sky is yours, and the stars and the moon and the sun belong to you. You can disappear into the blueness of the beyond. Just drop clinging to this cage. Move out of the cage and the whole sky is yours. Open your wings and fly across the sun like an eagle in the inner sky, in the inner world. Freedom is the highest value. Everything else is secondary. even blissfulness and ecstasy, right? Because certain things, it's like, if it's instant gratification only, I mean, think about it. It says what it is. Yeah, you get the instant gratification, but then when it's done, then you're like, have to go back to square one and do it again. Instead of like, look, remembering, they had me do it like this, like, that spirit's got your back and your front and your side and underneath you, like they're always walking next to you. So the times that you're feeling like you're not strong enough to do something, call on your higher self, call on your spirit guides, say, help me through this right now. Also, I feel like the birds kind of look like mountains, and so do the rocks. I don't know, I just saw that, so that might be a message for somebody. I feel like you find comfort there or solace there, and they're like, good, then spend more time. Like, if you know, and this is for everybody, like if there's a place where you know that you love to spend time, or that where you really reconnect with yourself, they're like, why aren't you going there? You're not going there because something is telling you, you know, this or that. And they're like, stop listening to that voice. Listen to your soul, listen to your intuition. So it says, there are thousands of flowers, uncountable, but they all become possible in the climate of freedom. Oh, that's so powerful. That's so powerful. Okay, do we have any more cards or any more messages? Yeah, this one was really extensive. Okay, Spirit, do we have any more messages for reading 5 at this time? Do we have any channeled messages that want to come through for anybody? Do you have any more advice or... I'm just checking in with them. Okay, you guys, that's it. Until next time, all of my information is in the description box, and it's also on my main page of my channel. If you click on About, you will find links to contribute to the work on this channel. Remember, prayers are free. And also my email address is there. And if you would like to reach out and work with me one-on-one or do a group reading, and also link to Lula's Labyrinth, my other channel, where I try to be as much of an, it's basically, I do everything I do on this channel, except for I don't do readings over there. And Spirit had me do that for a reason, because you know, it brings people here or brings people this channel there. But either way, it's a channel of inspiration, and I hope that you find some there. I love you guys. I'll see you next reading. Blessed be. Oh, take good care of yourself and each other. Bye.